versus the 5 seed Richard Bland Statesman. This one should be a dandy. Johnson County defeated Montgomery in the opening round. Richard Bland beat McHenry County in the first round 3-1. Johnson County yesterday swept Grand Rapids last night 25-12, 25-12, 25-16. The team hit 38 kills, 500. They only had 7 attack errors in the match. And McCarthy hit 500. Troutman had 665 for her name on the hitting percentage. Both of them had 11 kills. On the other side for Richard Bland last night, the Statesman defeated Iowa Central in what many would consider a surprise 3-0 sweep. Probably not to this team, though. 25-14, 25-15, 25-8 teams, 2-0 in the tournament. That's why they play tonight for a chance at the championship. Johnson County trying to get back there where they were the spring of 2021 when they beat Parkland in the championship. Richard Bland, well, they're trying to make their first championship appearance. Remember, this is their second straight. They were once a D1 school, but no banner up there for the championship in D2. Trying to add to it and get there first. It's Addison Mock to serve first for Johnson County. Yes, we will have live stats, of course, and we'll be bringing you the ties because I'll have those. Set number 1, who goes to the finals for the Saturday night main event, underway. Set in the middle for Hopkins, in the back, and a 1-0 lead for Richard Bland. Of course, the other side is Parkland and Scottsdale, who came back last night. If you missed that match against Cali, whew, man, that one got everybody fired up in here. Scottsdale won 3-2. Durko on the serve. Set in the middle for Johnson County and a full swing for Olberg, and 1-1 tie. I have a feeling this match will not be a bunch of errors. It's going to be good blocking up front. There's going to be a lot of smashes to the floor. Both these teams 4 or 5 deep when it comes to swinging up front. So the offense is definitely going to be on full display. Stricker serving. As powerful as Hopkins. That is her first. See, Lala Wima, see happens when you overpass. McCarthy tips down. 4-2. Johnson County leading. Or pardon me, 3-2. Got ahead of myself there. Fyatt back to serve once again. Jump serve. Played off of Harris. Heath. And that is into the net. And it is 4-2 now for Johnson County. The experience definitely goes to the Cavs. They've been in this position the last couple of years and have some sophomore leadership like a Troutman up front. There's a host of sophomores. Never can you overpass. Troutman actually missed the first one and missed the second one. So Richard Bland gets a gift twice by Jaden Troutman. The first one was actually hit back over by Richard Bland. The second one, Troutman missed 4-3. Richard Bland down by a point. Phillips in to serve. Good shot by our camera crew. They've been doing such a wonderful job here at the tournament. Troutman at the 10-foot line, angles down and hit right to Durko. That's not a bad idea. Swing for Kaiser, but not a kill. And this time, powerful swing, McCarthy. Blast through the block, down 5-3. Johnson County, Troutman to serve. We are so happy that you are with us here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and a part of our broadcast on the NJCAA network. Durko sets, and this time it's Heath nailing it down in front of Fayette. And it'll be Heath, who just got the point, will serve for Richard Bland. Down by a point, 5-4. Good bump. Mock up to the front. Osula could not get it down, though. And a tip. But that's Oh, look out as Heath and Awalua nearly combined on each other. 6-4. Almost a piggyback ride there. Nobody talking or couldn't hear it. The facility is getting loud for sure. Johnson County on the serve, 6-4. Nice pass. Goggin, who was electric last night, not on her first. Roll off for Harris. Far side, full swing. Kaiser not down. Mock was there for the dig. Another roll off shot by McCarthy. Heath on a back row set and out. 7-4. Back to serve will be Lauren McClure. Serves it up. Right to Kaiser. Middle shot by Goggin. Block is long for Johnson County. Long and off to the side. And back to serve will be Sophia Kaiser for Richard Bland as they get the point off that kill for Goggin. Leilani, 6th in efficiency coming into the tournament. Line drive serve played nicely by Fyatt. Dug up by Heath on the attack. Back row set for Kaiser. That one over to the far side of the gym. 8-5. Johnson County leading. And here comes Silvers checking in, as well as Olberg. Silvers to serve. 8-5 lead for Johnson County and an ace. Misplayed and misread that time by Kaiser. Right now Johnson County hitting .231. Richard Bland and even zeros. 4 kills but 4 attack errors. Block and Johnson County hangs with it. Far side. That block would have been in on Johnson County's side. Another set. Olberg. Olberg, of course, missed regionals. Her last play before the tournament was October 12th. Season high for her is 14 kills, and it's double up time right now as Johnson County leads 10-5. Durko sets far side, and Awalua comes up with the big kill. A much-needed side out for Coach Champagne's group. Champagne Dryden, as her and the assistant coach up, as the last two have come right towards that block. And a back row attack by Johnson County, and we are tied at 10s here in this semifinal. Riley Harris to serve. Richard Bland. Oh, didn't get all of that one either, but Mock able to come up, get a good pass off it. Olberg pounds right at Durko, and Hopkins got it to fall, and a side out for Johnson County. Olberg swings with such authority. And Mock to serve. 11-10. Johnson County with the 1-point lead. This block hangs around Harris. Had it come over to Richard Bland's side. Heath into the net. And 12-10. Addison Mock straight in the middle of the floor. Line drive serve. Harris. Nobody's going to be able to play it after Durko and Kaiser almost collide. And an ace for Mock. Second ace for Johnson County. No aces for Richard Bland. Then after the run by Richard Bland to tie it at 10, 3 straight points for Johnson County. And make it 4 as Mock finds a mini spot right by the sideline. That was so close. No argument, though, from the coaching staff of Richard Bland. Harris was standing right there. And Mock targets Harris again. Libero on libero. And big block up front, Troutman and Harris. And that gets Johnson County all kinds of fired up. It's a 5-0 run by the Cavaliers, and Richard Bland takes a timeout. Sometimes it's not the big swings, it's an ace or a block that'll get everyone fired up, and it does for Johnson County. You are watching the NJCAA Network presented by Zurich Insurance, the official provider of student-athlete insurance for the NJCAA. Zurich Insurance helps athletes get back on the court after an injury. Learn more at zurichna.com. And order your official 2022 NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship merchandise online at the NJCAA store. Visit shopnjcaa.com to view exclusive national championship merchandise. I'm actually planning on coming to the arena tomorrow a little early so I can finally get some merchandise. Haven't been able to do that yet. Got some stuff from the D3 tournament, but never have I had any thing that says D2 doing that this year. Richard Bland, they're wanting that championship merchandise after tomorrow night's match. But right now, Johnson County at 15-10. And there you see Mock and Silvers discussing some defensive strategies. I'm sure Johnson County fans, they're excited watching. And Mock ready to serve. 15-10 after the timeout by Richard Bland. Mock goes right after Harris again. Awalua, that set too close to the net. I believe Harris actually had a touch first. Olberg. Harris is there. Overpass. Battle at the net between Troutman and Hopkins. Comes back over to Johnson County. Roll off for Harris. Got it. And 16-10. Mock will stay there. 6-0. Hopkins, and that slam gets past Mock. (16-11). Back to serve, Kerrigan Durko. What a career she has had. She was a regional player of the year. She's the tournament MVP. Transfer from Terra State, an overpass, and that kill by Sarah Heath then. Johnson County did get that over, but then out of bounds on the sideline. 16-12. Mini runs happening for both teams so far in this semifinal. In Division II, McClure sets. Troutman got it around the block and down in front of Harris. And here comes Strickert to serve for Coach I's group. Coach I, her 15th year, nearing that 500 career wins as well. Getting closer. Picked up her 400th earlier this year. Olberg around the block. Hopkins in the middle. Touch for Strickert first. Tracked down by Silvers. Free ball. Far side, Awalua, and that is in the corner. So Awalua puts that one down for Richard Bland, and she will be the server. Placement was excellent, right in front of the line judge. Awalua does have the big topspin serve as well. Her and Harris do it routinely. Sideways off Mock. Johnson County will just have the free ball. Durko to Hopkins. Blocked up front by Troutman. That's why it's so important for Coach I to have a player like Troutman, who was an outside hitter last year. She had some bigs in the middle. Thought there was kind of a hole there this season. Asked Troutman to change to a middle, and you're getting some very powerful swingers in the middle coming up, especially with Hopkins. Mock dove for it, could not get it up. And the point for Richard Bland, 18-14. You've got to have that block up front. You go back to the Cali match. You know, they got Kate, Aratsky both in the middle. Johnson County was able to beat Cali in an unbelievable match. That was 3-2. 7-0 against qualifying teams was Johnson County. They are on quite the run this season. Troutman tipped out of bounds. Comes off the block. And the point for Troutman. Troutman, jump serve. Awalua, that goes sideways. A back set for her, and that's out. In fact, it hits the line judge, who, again, I've said this in a couple other ones, they can't move. They're not supposed to move because they're the ones that are out of bounds. So if you hit them, then, of course, the ball is out of bounds. Troutman to serve once again, a 6-point lead for Johnson County. The ties are at 1, 2, and 10. Richard Bland was down. Ten to 5, came back, and then all of a sudden the run for Johnson County. And it'll be Heath to serve. Good serve. That was going to be short for a moment, but it got there. Just a mini push, really, for Goggin, and that is not a push. That's a swing and an attack by Johnson County. McCarthy. A 21-15 McClure. Harris, touch first. Goggins. So Goggin with the big swing. Richard Bland, though, they're needing some points. 21-16. Goggin with her second. And Kaiser will go back to serve for Richard Bland. Down 5, first set. Line drive serve. What an up by Fayette. And another big swing over on the far side, but not down. And this off the block, out of bounds. Okay. I thought maybe it didn't actually get touched, but they did rule it. Off the block, out of bounds. Richard Bland has the point. 21-17. A little cautious on that call. I wasn't sure. Kaiser. Far side, McCarthy. And they say that hit the antenna. And Coach I got to take a timeout as Richard Bland coming back here in the first. 21-18. Over on that other side. Well, I'm not sure who is leading, so I know the score is 20-17, but I don't know who's ahead. Moulton is proud to be the official volleyball of the NJCAA and has generously provided all balls for all NJCAA Volleyball National Championships. Moulton for the real game. And nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app. Ticket Smarter is proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace of the NJCAA. Ticket Smarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. So just the 3 ties thus far. Both teams hitting, actually, Richard Bland is hitting 111 and Johnson County 156. Blocks, both teams have 2. Kills, Richard Bland actually has more kills. They're at 12. Johnson County 10. The attack errors by Bland, though, 8. Johnson County 5. 3 aces to none as well. That is the Cavaliers' lead. Sophia Kaiser still at the service line for Richard Bland. Right in the middle of the defense. McCarthy. Slices one and gets the kill. 22-18. Exactly how. And here comes Silvers and Olberg back in. That's exactly what Coach I was talking about, though, I'm sure, in that huddle. We just need one good pass. Let's get a side out, get it back on our side. Silvers will serve. They did that for the Cavaliers. Richard Bland setting up, block up the middle, and big block. Osula with the block. 23-18. Got a replay of it too. Awesome work by our production crew over here. Awalua too hard. 24-18. Johnson County faithful stands up. And Silvers will probably have one of them in our shot, unfortunately. 24-18. Durko sets. Big dig on the back by Silvers. Olberg on the roll-off. Far side, Awalua, another dig by Silvers, but for the D2 tournament continues here on the NJCAA network.
It's time to accept more opportunities, more good days, more control of what you'll get out of life. You plus NCWU. North Carolina Wesleyan University offers working adults a seamless path forward that's affordable and flexible. Complete your degree in as little as 18 months for careers in healthcare, cybersecurity, and more. Enroll today at ncwc.edu. North Carolina Wesleyan University. Personal, practical, purpose-driven.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
I have a little birthday message for you from someone too.
I heard you really love basketball. You're a good shooter and a good dribbler. Happy birthday, MJ, and I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Look at that thing go. It mows grass nonstop. We mow grass nonstop. That's our thing. You're gonna hear from our lawyer, pal.
We have a lawyer?
Automower by Husqvarna. It's the GOAT for a beautifully cut lawn every day. Shop now at automower.com.
The big Molten Volleyball right next to the souvenir shop here at the 2022 NJCAA Division II Women's Volleyball Championship in Cedar Rapids inside the Alliant Energy Powerhouse. And the powerhouse right now is the Johnson County Cavaliers, 25-19. They win the first set. And over on the other side, Scottsdale, the Fighting Artichokes, win the first set over Parkland, 25-19. We'll see where the serve is coming from. Should be, yeah, I was going to say, it should be Durko. She's just awaiting. Teams switch sides. I think they were looking at So here comes the first serve, Durko. Ties just at 1, 2, and 10. Overall, Statesman 13 kills and 10 attack errors for a percentage of .073. Johnson County, 12 kills, 5 errors. They finish at 200. Troutman rushing up to the net, nearly a net violation as well. Full swing and attack by Harris. Overpass, Troutman tried to put it down. Heath got on the floor. Kaiser on the tip. Got the kill out of it too. Lots of teams sticking around there wanting to see this one. McHenry County walking by right now. We saw Montgomery. They're cheering on heavily for Richard Bland. Of course, some of them are staying over on the other side to watch Scottsdale and Parkland. Everybody taking in on the semifinals here in the 2022 D2 Championship. Durko, line drive serve, Mock played. Far side, Troutman rolled off the net. Played up, Awalua. That was off the block on that violation. Coach I asking for who on who. She gets her clarification and a 2-0 lead for Richard Bland. Durko with a hard serve. Mock couldn't get it up and an ace. That is the first ace for Richard Bland. Johnson County had 3 of them in the first set. Blocks 3 for Johnson County, 2 for Richard Bland. Jump serve by Durko. Played up by Olberg. Troutman tips way up and over the block. Had to get that thing high in the air. Didn't have as much mustard on normal hits that I see from Troutman, but it's all about placement. And found the floor here at the Alliant Energy Powerhouse. 3-1 lead, Richard Bland. That thing floated in the air forever. Strickert. Line drive serve played by Kaiser. Heath dug up by Silvers. Olberg on the far side. Can't put it down. A back set for Kaiser right into the net. Boy, totally missed that. She slaps her own hands afterwards too. Knew it. As Strickert would go back to serve once again for Johnson County. 3-2. Richard Bland leading. Semifinal. Johnson County winning the first. 25-19. Neither team hit it as well as they usually do, although Hopkins just did on that particular swing. Hopkins has 4 and hitting .375. Awalua back to serve for the Statesmen. She leads the hitting categories at 5. A top spin serve, nearly an overpass. McClure saved, and Troutman! What a set and spike. Looked like almost an overpass, led right to the net. McClure saved it somehow, and Troutman was already jumping. Good Lord. And Hopkins was there to try and take maybe what was going to be the overpass, so then Troutman only had the one-on-one over on that far side and angled away from Heath. Heath goes over the block this time. And instead, McCarthy says, I'll shove it right to it, and gets the point and ties it at 4s. I still am baffled by that play by McClure to Troutman. There's 2 players on the same team, and an ace as Kaiser misplays the serve from Fayette. Multiple dribbles, looks over it. The coaching staff, jump serve, brought right back to Kaiser, nearly an overpass. Durko saves, no jump for Hopkins. Overpass though, and Hopkins will take care of that. 5-5. Second set, subbing in, Phillips the serve. That'll also bring Goggin back in. She has 2, Heath with 3, Hopkins 6 now. Awalua with 5. Phillips served up, McCarthy smashes right to Durko, and it goes straight down. And a 6-5 lead for Johnson County, and Troutman to serve. Oh, kind of backwards off of Awalua. Rolls off the block. Quick tip by McClure, not down. And that time, good positioning by Heath. Had a chance to kind of shoot over and down. Had good spin on it too. Back row for Johnson County could not make the play. 6-6. Back and forth we go in the second set. That would have been in. Boy, that's close, but Fayette made the play. And a net violation on Richard Bland. Called, looks like, on Durko. And back to serve will be McClure. Serve over to Harris. Set in the middle, Goggins. First one blocked, come back over to Richard Bland. Set out and long by Kaiser. Richard Bland, the bench area, calling for a tip, does not receive one. 8-6 Johnson County. Served up Awalua on the pass. Durko sets, but rushing right up to the net. Osola, but up front. That's a tough place for Heath because her momentum's carrying her right there, and she's not getting a high jump either. And Johnson County, we know how good they are at blocking. And that their blocks are making it very tough on Richard Bland. They're having a hit over the top of it. They're setting at the 10-foot line, and I'm sure Coach Champagne's going to talk all about that. As that last couple of hits for Richard Bland, too far from the net, or the momentum carrying them to the net, and then it's right into that block. So Johnson County, and they're blocking, they're 7th in blocks per set, whereas Richard Bland, they're 59th in blocks per set, but they hit a ton. You know, they're 4th in kills per set. Both these offenses are really, really salty, but right now it's Johnson County. Richard Bland is hitting .071, making the errors right now because of that defense up front by the Cavaliers. They're up to 4 blocks as Johnson County, and they're hitting right now 500 for this set. They have had 10 attacks, 5 kills, no errors. And reminiscent of set number 1, ties here and there. In fact, this is about the time where Richard Bland went on a run of 5 in a row to tie it at 10. And after that, Johnson County started to pull away. We never had a tie again. It finished at 25-19. So McClure goes back to serve. (10-6) after the first timeout taken by Richard Bland. Durko sets. That was a good pass and a set for Goggin, but Cavaliers defense was ready for it. Durko on the dump. Set far side. McCarthy, but that's not down. Middle hit, shot out for Goggin. That was awfully close. The officials got it right down the line, though. And the head official has brought over Kerrigan Durko to discuss something. And I think it's something to do with the bench area, not so much of what was happening on the court. because Coach Champagne has come over and discussed things with the bench area. So it must have been something to do with the Statesmen that are standing up. Overpass, look out. McCarthy, though, did not slam it home. Block up front again. Osola with the solo. (12-6). And the double up again by the Cavaliers. Johnson County feel like a team just on a mission. McCarthy, double block back on their side. Harris shoots over it. Played by Heath first. Kaiser down the line, got the kill. 12-7. Boy, did Richard Bland need that side out. I'll tell you, on the other side right now, it's 11-10. I believe Parkland is leading by 1, but Scottsdale took the first set. And when I looked over last time, I thought it was 10-6. So Scottsdale hanging right in there with Parkland, won the first set. Kaiser, jump serve. Far side, but not down. And this one in. Oh, but the net violation called on Johnson County. Can't give Awalua that kill. She jumped hard and high, hit that ball down on the line, but Mock and McClure again, a heady play because that pass had no chance to go anywhere else. Oh, now wait a second. They're calling a back row attack. What? I'm not sure exactly why they would call that. The discussion, that might have been McCarthy. I might have made the mistake too. I think I said McClure, but I think that was McCarthy that hit that up. But as Mock had hit it up to the front, it's not as though McCarthy jumped. And Coach I is having a full discussion. Well, with that in mind, then the substitution would not happen. Okay, discussion over with. It's Richard Bland that has the point. That ball would have had nowhere to go. And so I understand where Johnson County just trying to lift it up over the net because it came off of Mock like a rocket. And there's the serve. Sola can't get it down. High above the block for Goggin. McCarthy on the full swing. Come back over to Johnson County. Harris rolled off the tape. And Riley Harris. And big swing. What a dig by Fyatt. And back down over on the far side's McCarthy. Wow. Credit Fyatt for standing sitting really. She was crouched so far down that when the blast came to her, she fell all the way down in the sitting position, but made the dig. Credit her on that. McCarthy might get the love for the kill, but that one, Fyatt made the play. 13-9, Johnson County leading. And that one way up and out. Over on the far side, Awalua. Her hitting numbers right now, she's going to dip right at 100. 14-9. Harris had to go all the way back to get it. Heath swings for the fences. Another great dig in the back by Johnson County. Awalua. Mock overpass. Comes back over to Richard Bland. Big time block up front on the double block. Another tip off the block. Come back over to Arby's. And finally, Richard Bland gets the point. Oh, so many blocks up front. Off the block to Richard Bland multiple times. And finally, Awalua gets a kill. I'm sure she was relieved as Harris miss hits, which can happen so often with that top spin serve. There's got to be a lot of control there. You're throwing it up so high, everything has to be perfect. And Mock will serve for Johnson County. Durko sets. And another block up front. Troutman this time. Harris was also there. You get a half a block. You get a half a block. The defense by both teams, but Johnson County really right now showcasing it. They're up to 6. Another one that falls over on Richard Bland's side. Awalua. And I'm not sure if that was a block or if it was just off the net. But right now the Statesmen need a side out in the worst way. It's 17-10. Lead up to 7 here in set 2. Won the first set by 6, 25-19. Awalua tried to go at Harris, and another solo block by Johnson County. And I feel like I said this last night, it's a block party by the Cavaliers. My goodness. The solo block. 18-10. Stay up to date with the latest news and information regarding NJCAA volleyball by visiting the official website of the National Junior College Athletic Association, NJCAA.org. And follow all the action of the 2022 NJCAA Volleyball Championships live on the NJCAA Network. Go to njcaa.org/network to view live and archive video of each game. The NJCAA Network is now available on mobile, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Android TV streaming platforms. The NJCAA Network, the home for NJCAA digital content. You saw the Cavaliers very relaxed in that huddle. You could see that as we moved over to Richard Bland. Tension, tightness. They have to come out a little bit loose. You got to shrug your shoulders at some of these attacks that are just getting blocked by the Cavs and just keep grinding. If you're Richard Bland, this team efficiency was 4th at .294, but right now they are hitting .027 at Johnson County at .211, which their efficiency for the year was .249. So they're below their season average. However, their defense has disrupted everything. As Hopkins tipped over the block, Harris tried to do the same thing, actually around it, and out of bounds. 18-11. Scottsdale and Parkland, they are tied 18s. Durko back to serve. That's over on court number 2. Here we're on court number 1. Durko, serve goes way to the back. Troutman, far side, directly into the net on a rare miss hit for Troutman. That will be her second attack error. She has 5 kills. McCarthy with 7. She's only had 1 error. Olberg 4. Osola has 3 blocks already too. Olberg far side. That block comes back over on Johnson County side as Hopkins and Heath team up and get a stuff. And it's a 5-point lead for Johnson County. 18-13. Coach Champagne, though, is out of timeout. She used them both already here in set number 2. Nearly an ace. Troutman worked over the antenna, and it stays in. Hopkins around the block. Mock was there. Harris swinging. Got it. 19-13. Harris and McCarthy, the two lefties. Of course, Johnson County with Michaela Powell a couple of years ago, seasons ago, I should say. It wasn't actually a couple of years ago, it was a year and a half ago when they won the national championship. Powell was a big part of that. She's an awesome PA now. Troutman blocks, comes back over to Richard Bland. Mock on the pass. Olberg, not a lift. Hopkins got out of the way. And a short tip on the back line. Just a simple little tap off the fingertips by Kaiser. Finds some room and a point. By the way, for Powell in Austin, PA, well, that's where Coach Champagne went to play after playing at Owens. And so I'm sure Michaela Powell is trying to get to be a Hall of Famer just like Coach Champagne was at Owens and Austin, PA. Troutman and blocked by Hopkins and Heath. Deep. And now a timeout by Coach I as Richard Bland puts a couple of defensive efforts together. Trying to get back into this second set. 19-15, our score. Johnson County leading by 4. And Richard Bland, there's the Statesman, 6th ranked. The 3 losses, and 2 of those were forfeit matches. They actually beat Parkland, swept them, but they had to forfeit those matches due to a roster snafu. They beat Cape Fear, who's here. They beat them 3 times, swept Montgomery. 6-0 against qualifying teams, but one of those teams was not Johnson County. These 2 teams did not meet in the regular season, which honestly is a surprise. There were so many of these qualifying teams. We had 16 teams, obviously, at the tournament, and it seemed like every one of them had played somebody or multiple teams in the tournament. As there's those big tournaments throughout the year. The first weekend's a big one. McHenry County hosting that one. So there's a lot of tournaments that these major programs in D2 go to. There's a lightning serve by Awalua. Troutman put it across but not down. Hopkins comes back firing. 16-19. Hopkins down by 3. The infectious smile of Hopkins. First team all-region. Hitting .399 for the season. Awalua top spin serve. Played by Mock. Boy, she had to go way down to get that. Troutman. And another block by Heath and Hopkins. Coach Eyes up off the bench. Probably saying, well, she was pointing at McClure. Trying to angle that ball at a different spot, I'm guessing. All about the placement. The big blocks happening for Richard Bland now. Johnson County's having that block party, and Richard Bland wanted a part of it. They're having it. Olberg. And yet another block by Hopkins. 19-18, 1-point lead for Johnson County. And Coach I has taken a timeout. And if you point over here to Johnson County real quick, it's Coach I talking directly to McClure, and that is all. The rest of the team is all huddled up. And so it's only Coach I and McClure off the bench area discussing things. Now she's into the huddle, though. And Richard Bland coming right back. Their hitting's not there at .026, but Johnson County's at an even. 7 kills, 7 errors. And there you go. You got the graphic right there. Blocks. Johnson County at 7, Richard Bland at 6. It's the defense that has propelled Richard Bland back into this match. And in this set, it has been been wild here in this set number 2. And I think the Fighting Artichokes over on the other side just won the second set. They did, 25-23. Scottsdale leads the other semifinal 2-0 over Parkland. After that 3-2 victory over Cowley, coming back from down 2-0, Scottsdale now 1 set away. Right now, we're a few points away, 7 to be exact for Richard Bland, 6 for Johnson County. Important serve. Passes pretty good by Mock. Troutman on the slide by. Awalua on a back, and I don't think that was touched. 4 hits, it wasn't. Troutman jumped up, but there was nothing on it. Went right into the net for Awalua. Sydney Fyatt back to serve. (20-18). That was a big side out. Coach I has used all her timeouts though too, and Hopkins misses. Tried to go around it. You saw the angle that she was gunning for, but missed it by a hair on the sideline. 21-18. Fyatt ready to go again with a serve. And off the tape. Richard Bland back on their side to serve, but that also means Hopkins has to leave the front. And it's Phillips. So Phillips to serve. Richard Bland down 2, 21-19. And Fyatt misplayed it, and an ace. That is a second ace for Richard Bland. 4 on the other side for Johnson County. Jump serve, not a lot of spin on it. Fyatt just had it go right off the left arm. Went backwards. A little bit more spin this time. Mock took it. Troutman rushes. And a free ball up and over by Richard Bland. Oh, nearly an overpass by Troutman. McClure takes care of it. Oh, that was dangerous. Almost a touch on the net. Could have been an overpass, and you think here comes the big swing for Richard Bland, but McClure, heady play. First team, all conference and region, a team player does whatever the team needs, is what Coach I said about McClure. Durko sets. Goggin, and will get the point. Well, actually, a net violation. I couldn't even hear the whistle. I just saw the number posted up. Point goes to Richard Bland. I think they did still give that to Goggin, but I thought the whistle blew for a net violation. We play on. And McCarthy pounding to the block of Richard Bland falls. And a point for Johnson County at a very, very key time. Look at the power of McCarthy there. Off Goggin block. McClure serving an ace. And McClure could go back for now set point. 24-21. Johnson County a point away from a 2-0 lead. Sends it. Oh, another ace! Playing off of Awalua at 25-21. Back-to-back aces make it 7 for Johnson County in the match. And they lead 2-0. Awalua, you see her feet were going to the right, and she tried to swing her arm back to the left. That's a difficult play to make. Couldn't make it, didn't get a clean bump. And Johnson County 25-21. They've won the first set 25-19, and they lead in this semifinal 2-0. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network.
Over 30 majors in 4 divisions.
Nursing,
education, criminal justice,
exercise science. This is one of the very few schools to honor leadership with scholarship.
Our students go out into the world with confidence.
I know who I am.
Pfeiffer has it all. The only thing that's missing is you.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
I couldn't sleep.
Well, neither could he.
Wow, talk about burning the midnight oil.
Yeah, but no oil. Runs on battery.
Oh, right.
Automower by Husqvarna. It's the GOAT for a beautifully cut lawn every day and night.
There's a shot of Cedar Rapids, Iowa from earlier today. Obviously a little darker out now. Downtown of Cedar Rapids and inside the Alliant Energy powerhouse. 25-19, 25-21. We're in the Friday night main event. It's a doubleheader, in fact, as a main event on both sides, Court 1 and Court 2. It's Johnson County and Richard Bland, the Cavaliers of Johnson County, trying to get back to the championship match where they were in the spring of 2021. That's where they got their championship as the teams flip sides once again. Of course, Johnson County also won in 2005. Not trying to forget that, Cavs fans. I know, just I wasn't here for that one. 2005, I was in college. 25-19. Yes, I am a little old. As Mock goes to serve. Johnson County and Richard Bland. Third set about to start. A 2-0 lead for Johnson County. On the other side, Scottsdale has a 2-0 lead on Parkland. Awalua swings and hits for a very important point for her. Got to be just for her confidence right now. She has 8 errors. That is now her 9th kill at a 1-0 lead. Mock passed up. Troutman rolled off the block. Hopkins right to the floor and 2-0. Hopkins is definitely a game changer for Richard Bland. Hopkins, the middle, a sophomore from War Hill out of Williamsburg. Of course, this is it for her career. Troutman. They're moving Troutman all over the place for Johnson County. Outside, far side, middle, wherever. They get a point for Troutman on that one. More discussion from Coach I.N. McClure. Strickert will serve for Johnson County. A 2-1 lead for Richard Bland. Harris to Durko. Awalua up and out, not touched. 2-2. Yep, Johnson County, really weren't even there for a block attempt. Strickert to serve. And that pass goes kind of sideways off Kaiser. Nearly just fell to the floor. Olberg trying to go to the back. Hopkins. This time it hits directly into the net. Kind of whiffed on that one. Set 1 and 2 both had 3 ties, and they were all very early. 1, 2, 10 in set 1, 3, 5, and 6 in set 2. Another block up front, that time by McClure. Came over to Richard Bland's side. Set for Olberg, rolled off the net. Harris. And what is the call here? There's out. Okay. The block is out of bounds on Johnson County. I actually thought that was in too. But the officials are there, have a much better view than I do from up here. I'm not judging. Awalua to serve. Rocket serve to Mock. Troutman slide by and the kill for 3. And the handoff. Fyatt will serve. There's Troutman on the slide, the curl, whatever you want to call it. Troutman and the big point to Johnson County breaking the tie. And a block by McClure and Troutman on the attempt by Heath. Richard Bland hit an even 0 in set 2, 11 kills, but 11 attack errors. Durko, quick set for Hopkins. Boy, that was going to be awfully close. Might even been out, but Fyatt had a touch before it hit the floor. Right by the sideline, it would have been close. Can't fault her for making the effort. 5-4 for sure. And Hopkins gets another point. She's in double figures at 10. McCarthy highest for Johnson County at 8. The blocks are 8 for Johnson County, 6 for Richard Bland. That goes into the net on the serve by Phillips. Back to serve will be Troutman. Osula back to the front for Johnson County. Troutman. Lots of dribbles. Puts it in play. Nearly an overpass. Durko does a great job angling that thing. And a kill for Goggin. Durko, such a good setter too. McClure has showed off her volleyball IQ a couple of times tonight too, from her setting position. And miscommunication there for Fyatt and Strickert. Nobody touches. Phillips goes back to serve, 6s. Line drive serve. Fyatt had to go sideways for her. And away from the net. Boy, that's a tough shot by McCarthy. But a ton of spin on it. And it fell 7-6. Johnson County leading. Harris did get it up off the block, but then the back set. Awalua sails out of bounds. 8-6, Johnson County. Awalua had to go kind of sideways. Big jump by Kaiser. Got it to roll off the block and down. Then Kaiser will go back to serve. Kaiser on the day. Got her for 5 and a hitting percentage actually 0. And a line drive serve. That's an ace. tied back at 8. That is the 4th ace for Richard Bland. Fyatt didn't get much on that pass, and Osola too long, 9-8. Statesmen take a 1-point lead with Kaiser to serve once again. Played up. Osola. Diving play by Phillips. And Awalua coming through. Silala Wima Sivativa with the kill. And Kaiser a 10-8 lead for Richard Bland. Third set. Have to have it to extend the match. Oh, Harris got tricky up front. Couldn't find the floor. McCarthy, big swing. Block comes back over to Johnson County side. Another shot for McCarthy. Not down. Awalua angles to the side. Mock on a great dive. McCarthy this time overpowering the block up front of Durko and Goggin. Back to service, Silvers. Olberg will check back in too to play the front for Johnson County. Richard Bland 1-point lead here in the third set, 10-9. And a middle attack for Goggin goes out of bounds on the back. And tied back at 10s. Nothing has come easy today for either team. They're both hitting, well, Richard Bland just dropped to 133 after that last one. And McClure, what a diving save, and Mock got it over. And Mock, pass goes to the barrier between the two courts. And Goggin all fired up. Leilani, second team all region, an undersized but big vertical. She converted to middle blocker. Fast, hits multiple spots. Hitting 389 on the season for Coach Champagne. That was her quote too, not mine. Harris will serve. Across the way, Mock on a pass. Olberg. Mock played it off the block. And Durko and Hopkins. I would say it's probably Durko. Hopkins letting Durko celebrate on that block. 12-10. Richard Bland up 2 here in the third. Harris out. 12-11 with Mock to serve. Far side. Awalua first touch, and then Hopkins putting it down right in front of Silvers. 13-11, Richard Bland. This is the deepest in any of the 3 sets that Richard Bland has had a lead. Durko served it up. Silvers. Olberg. Touched by Durko, which means she can't set. And a one-arm swing by Silvers. Olberg calls everybody off on a free ball. Durko. Quick set for Hopkins and laid everything off. Johnson County expecting the Thor hammer and instead got a gentle breeze. And it falls to the floor. Another line drive serve, Silvers. Troutman. That is out over on the far side. Coach I off the bench calls a timeout. 15-11. Richard Bland leading here in the third. Down 0-2 in sets. We'll take a timeout, come right back. You are watching the NJCAA Division II. These are the semifinals of the volleyball championship on the NJCAA network. The semifinals here on court number 1. Richard Bland leading 15-11. But it's Johnson County up in sets 2-0. And there is a surprise brewing over on court number 2 as Durko gets ready to serve. Mock, nice pass. And the double touch by McClure. That, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think that's the first two-touch call we have had on either setter in this entire match. I'm almost positive that is the first two-touch call as Durko sends one long, 16-12. And Strickert comes in to serve. Overpass. Durko trying to save it. Could not. And Johnson County with the point. Awalua had the ball and wasn't sure what to do with it and just kind of spun it behind her and let it fly. Schrickert. As Hopkins tips past the block and down. 17-13. Silala Wima Sivativa back to serve. Rocket serve off of Mock. Troutman blocked, but Johnson County hangs with it. Olberg gets it over it. And Hopkins. She has been a difference maker. The hitting for Richard Bland going up. They're over 300. Johnson County right now hitting 105. Hopkins double figures, 13, hitting 435. Awalua though into the net. And Johnson County needs a run at the service line. Fayette can do that for sure. It's been an excellent serve. The 39 aces, skilled at setting and the DS. Coach I said when switching to the 5-1, Fayette has embraced the DS role. So she brings desire on the court. Characteristic. Hopkins missing over on the far sideline. Fayette gets a second one. Played by Awalua. Far side, Kaiser. Got it past everybody, but then, Mock, McClure over, and then tipped down by Heath. What a dig by Johnson County, first of all. Oh. Hopkins forgot to stay there long enough to get the sub, as we'll see Jaden Brown coming in. So we have not seen Jaden Brown. So this is a new rotation going on for Coach Champagne. She's really mixed things up with the rotation. Jaden Brown serving. That's the first time we've spotted her. Down the sideline. Not there. And the block, Troutman, McCarthy teaming up. 19-16, Troutman to serve. So Brown out, and then Harris comes back in. Oh, and Goggin was going to put it down anyway. Fyatt was standing there, thought maybe it was out, hesitated for a moment, couldn't get the arms back up, and a kill for Richard Bland. And now Sydney Phillips. So I think I made the mistake last time. I'm wrong. So we have seen Jaden Brown. I got Phillips and Brown mixed up the last time they made the substitution. So that's my fault. Coach Champagne knows what she's doing and has the same rotation. So I was wrong. And it is Phillips that had the serving error, though, for Richard Bland. Comes back to Johnson County, 2017 at the moment with McClure serving. Boy, I sure hope it's her. Hope I'm right on that at least. Set in the middle, Goggin. Block is late by Johnson County. And it's a wide open net. And a quick set from Durko. And Johnson County taking a timeout as they're running out of points here in set number 3 to complete the sweep. And the roles have certainly reversed. 286 hitting for Richard Bland. Just 100 for Johnson County here in the third. And over on that other side, well, Scottsdale had the upset in the last round. They are 3 points away from making the championship and knocking off the defending champs, the Parkland Cobras. As it is 22-19 over there after Scottsdale won the first two, 25-19 and 25-23. Here, Richard Bland trying to force a fourth. They're 4 points away from it. Johnson County trying to get back to the championship. Won the title in 2021, the spring, which they consider now the 2020, because there wasn't a fall of 2020 tournament. Ball to Kaiser. Richard Bland. Jump serve for Kaiser. Played by Fyatt, but far away. McCarthy had to angle that thing. Difficult task. Awalua gets the kill. 22-17. And back is Kaiser in a 5-point lead. (22-17). And McCarthy long on the shot. And Richard Bland 2 points away from extending to a fourth. And some of the players down below are starting to figure out what's happening over on the other side too. Line drive serve. McClure sets. And that one sails out of bounds. Some missed hits by Johnson County. Osula on that one. And it's set point for Richard Bland. 24-17. Played by Mock. Osula. It goes up and over for Kaiser, the scorer's table. And Johnson County lives for another point. way away. Yep, there it goes. Back to serve is Silvers. Set point still for Richard Bland. Oh. Lua, that went backwards on her. Far side, Harris. And Harris, Riley Harris that is, got her hands away. And Richard Bland extends to a fourth, 25-18. The matrix move by Riley Harris. You'll see it here in a minute. The pass up from Riley Harris, a back set. Not really what Richard Bland wanted. And the rocket by Kylie Harris of Johnson County. Riley Harris gets out of the way. We're bound to have a new champion in D2 because the Scottsdale's Farting Artichokes just defeated Parkland in 3 straight. Last set over there was 25-20. I'm not taking a break. I will stay here on this particular break just to talk about what's going on here. So Johnson County and Richard Bland in the semifinals, 25-19, 25-21, and then Richard Bland just won 18-25. The reason I'm not taking a break is because I'm assuming that some of the viewers on Parkland and Scottsdale might be just joining us. So here on the NJCAA network, we have our semifinal in court number 1. I'm Joel McCall, 25-19 Johnson County, 25-21 Johnson County. Richard Bland, though, just blasted a 300% on their hitting percentage in set number 3. 16 kills in that set on 30 attacks, and they extend the match at 25-18. And if you've been following along with us over here the whole time, Scottsdale won over against Parkland 25-19, 25-23, and 25-20. So our double main event has now become the headliner here on court number 1 as one half of the finals is set. As Scottsdale wins in a clean sweep over Parkland. Parkland will fall down to the third place match, and that's exactly where the loser will go of this one. Richard Bland didn't want to go out in a sweep. Found some offense, really. A lot of it had to do with Hopkins up front in that last set. She's hitting 375 and 13 kills. Awalua with 10. Goggins 7, Heath 6, Kaiser 4. Durko has 32 assists so far. McClure with 22. McCarthy leads the hitting for the Cavaliers at 10. Troutman 7, Olberg 5. And then kind of a drop-off. The blocking has been marvelous. 9 blocks for Johnson County, 7 for Richard Bland. It was definitely early on, and you could kind of sense things are a little bit more relaxed. You could kind of see it. The Richard Bland Statesmen, they were definitely not moving and grooving in that first 2 sets. They looked awfully tight, if I could use that word for Coach Champagne's group. I haven't seen that much this season, or ever really, of any of Coach Champagne's groups. Of course, the last 2 years, Tara State was here, and she was the head coach for that. And so, really, I've never seen one of her teams look a little just, I don't know, it was maybe the moment getting to them a little at the beginning, but right now you can kind of sense the Statesmen having the momentum. Durko served first the last time they were over on this side on the right. Kerrigan Durko, the transfer from Tara State. A first team everything, second in assists per set, third in assists, fourth in aces, positive, competitive, 3,000 plus career assists, a great job as a leader, and fit in quickly is what Coach Champagne said after transferring from Tara State. Johnson County leads the match 2-1. Statesman just answered with the 25-18 third set. So a fourth set. Richard Bland will need this one too. We'll see where the hitting comes from for Johnson County. And if they can be a little bit more effective. There's still more discussion happening. I'm not sure what. They didn't talk about it for the bench area when Richard Bland was on our left, but they have talked about it now twice over on our right. So I don't know what's different, but either way, serve comes from Durko. Olberg, roll shot, not down. Awalua comes through with the kill. And a 1-0 lead for Richard Bland. Ties in set 3. There was only 5. Ties in set 2 and 1, 3 each. So only 11 ties in this match, but it has been close throughout. And the overpass, Awalua. Richard Bland off to a hot start in this one, much like they were in the third set. Pass up. Harris nails it. Found an opening in between the blocking up front of Hopkins and Heath. Strickert will serve for Johnson County. Two, one. And Awalua trying to figure out how to hit that. Had her hands out first, then trying to tuck in 2-2. Strickert ready to serve once again for Johnson County. Comes right back over to Awalua. Durko couldn't track it. Back line. Oh, pass Mock. She kind of pumped her fist in that. Mad at herself, and what placement by Heath. Awalua back to serve. And here comes that top spin serve. And Mock. Olberg blocked up front, but it come back over. Troutman tried to dump it down right away, and up and out for Kaiser. Threes. Fyatt back to serve. Official blowing the whistle first. Short serve, boy, oh boy. Awalua had to do anything to get that up, and then Kaiser saved it by the scores table. Awalua just trying to attack from the back line, out on the near sideline in front of Johnson County's bench. 4-3. Johnson County leading by the point. Harris on the pass. Durko pushed it up. Kaiser again gets a chance. Up and over the block, but not down. Troutman had to readjust. What a difficult play there. Ooh, and be careful if you're Awalua sliding on that hard surface into the carpet. 5-3. Troutman with the kill. Fyatt serving for the Cavs. And Awalua missing that, and an ace serve for the Cavaliers. Four-point run for Johnson County. Durko sets. Kaiser blocked up front. McClure, Troutman, team up once again. Boy, how many times can you say that? The two sophomores, McClure and Troutman. 7-3. Five straight points. They're the ones that tied it at threes. And into the net. 7-4. Richard Bland down by 3. And Jaden Brown will go back to serve. Jaden Brown, 50 aces on the season. Lots of serves. And another one for Jaden Brown. 7-5. Richard Bland trying to answer the run of Johnson County. This is reminiscent of sets 1 and 2. That's exactly what happened in those 2 sets. Johnson County built the lead. Here come Richard Bland. And then into the net, though. You give one, or you get one, then you give one. And that's what happened there at the service line. And Hopkins is out of rotation right now for Richard Bland. This is an opening for Johnson County to attack. And Heath misses. Yeah, net violation anyway. She hit the net as she was following through. 9-5. Johnson County up by 4. Lead the match 2-1. A trip to the finals at stake. They would play the 6th seed Scottsdale Fighting Artichokes. McCarthy. Block came back over on Johnson County's side. Again it does. McCarthy around it this time. Harris with the first touch for Richard Bland. Middle hit and down for Goggin. Leilani, 5'8", Fort Defiance out of Wares Cave, Virginia. 9-6. And an ace. Ace serve by Richard Bland. And that's Phillips. Another one coming for the Statesmen. 9-7. Johnson County still up by 2. Here in the 4th. Fyatt to Mock. And just a punch. And look at the quick set by Goggin. Osola had that punch over, then tried to jump up as quick as possible for the block, but the set and the snap by Goggin was just there too quickly. Setter and hitter on the same page there. Mock had to go backwards. Harris at the 10-foot line. Kaiser up, overpass. Goggin tried to put it down but didn't get a hammer on it. McCarthy to the sideline. Kaiser just a push. McClure dumps it down. We have not seen too much of that by the setters. In fact, Durko does not have a kill. That is McClure's second. And Lauren McClure will serve. Goggins. Oh, the overpass actually was going to be in. And coming back is Kaiser. What a play by Richard Bland. And Phillips getting to that ball as Johnson County got that ball up and over, and it would have been in, and Phillips made the play. Kaiser gets the kill and the side out. McClure camping underneath that one. Waited a long time, McCarthy, but a block up front. Awalua and Goggin teaming up. Kaiser at the service line, 10-10. Far side, and nice shot by Osula. Osula took a lot off of that and really didn't even have a follow through. They just kind of slapped their hand up there and that was it. Normally you see that come all the way down. Not that time. Worked out for Johnson County. Get the point. Far side. And Goggin, boy, does she want the ball too. She is all fired up. She's asking for it. Goggin up to 10 kills. Awalua with 12 and Hopkins 13. And Hopkins is back in the front. McCarthy at 8, McCarthy at 10, Troutman at 8. Olberg has 5. Riley Harris on that top spin serve. Olberg not touched on the block. And Richard Bland has a 1-point lead of 12-11 here in the fourth. Comes across. Set for Harris and long. So 13-11. Riley Harris, the libero. Big spin. Good pass. And another tip up and over the block. Osola with another excellent shot for Johnson County. We're just seeing so many of them full swing and attack and attack and attack. And all the defenses, you start to get on your heels, you're ready for it. And then the change-ups. Hopkins, no change up there. That's the fastball, 14-12. Kerrigan Durko back to serve, 14-12. The lead for Richard Bland. Plant saved. And Olberg at the net. She could not even manage an attack out of that. That's going from near side to the far side. That's a difficult set for McClure. Durko. Line drive. Olberg fired down the line. And Olberg with a much needed side out for Johnson County. And Strickert reports in for Kylie Harris to serve. Down 2. Awalua, this is going to Hopkins. And Silvers was sliding up all that momentum and off the right shoulder. Hopkins, her 14th. Awalua, top spin serve, look out. Troutman over on the far side, goes with the tip. Durko, overpass. McClure sets. Olberg rolled it off the net and out of bounds. And Coach I is going to take a timeout, 17-13. Set number 4. Richard Bland is leading. The match is 2-1 Johnson County, but Richard Bland has found their offense here. Started in the third, carried over to the fourth. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network.
It's time to accept more opportunities, more good days, more control of what you'll get out of life. You plus NCWU. North Carolina Wesleyan University offers working adults a seamless path forward that's affordable and flexible. Complete your degree in as little as 18 months for careers in healthcare, cybersecurity, and more. Enroll today at ncwc.edu. North Carolina Wesleyan University. Personal, practical, purpose-driven.
As the second largest intercollegiate athletic association in the country, the NJCAA serves not only a pivotal role in college athletics, but in higher education. The NJCAA Foundation aims to move the association forward through resources, grant programs, and other special initiatives. Your gift to the NJCAA Foundation will make a difference and create opportunities.
17-13, set 4 semifinal, a bid to the final in the D2 National Championship on the line. Johnson County leading 2-1, but right now it feels like it is Richard Bland's match as Kaiser swings and a net violation on Johnson County after the timeout by Coach I. And 18-13. Richard Bland hitting .250 in this set. Johnson County .048. These last two sets, not what might have been out. Stricker was right at the corner though. Olberg roll off. Kaiser can't put it down. Mock was there. Olberg far side. Up and over the block. Hopkins blocked up front. Played by Richard Bland. Tip for Kaiser. And Troutman is denied. Hopkins. The blocks right now, 9 for Richard Bland, 10 for Johnson County. (19-13). Richard Bland leading by 6. Needs 6 more to force the money set. Olberg swings away and another block. Kaiser and Hopkins. And a second timeout by Johnson County and Coach I. My, oh my, how things changed. In the match itself, we've been talking about sets, but the hitting percentage for Richard Bland in the match is .132, and now the blocks are even at 10 apiece. 50 kills for Richard Bland, 33 for Johnson County. And Richard Bland had to know it was going to take a dramatic effort by the defense to slow down Johnson County, which no one really has all season long in Division II, primarily for Johnson County because they're undefeated in matches against D2 schools. The only 3 losses that Johnson County had was the 2 Iowa Western matches and Panola. That's it. And so in D2, nobody seemed to slow down this Cavaliers offense. And there's Scottsdale, the Fighting Artichokes. After their win, a 3-0 win over Parkland, they're waiting to see who will come out of this one. Boy, in the first 2 sets, we thought for sure it was going to be Johnson County. Now, feels like it's Richard Bland's to take. And Strickert handed across. Hopkins, another booming hit in the middle, 21-13. And she is up to 16 kills on the night to go along with her 9 blocks. She is almost at a double-double, which is not something you would talk about very often for volleyball. 21-13. Hallelujah, way up and out on that one, though. 21-14, and Johnson County has to have a run right here. Down 7, 4 points for Richard Bland to force the 5th. Fyatt will serve. Comes over to Awalua. Set for Heath, and she delivers. I'm telling you, the offense for Richard Bland that was so slow in those first 2 sets at a .073 and then an even zeros in the second set. They have found their rhythm. Credit Hopkins and Durko for moving things around as Jaden Brown to serve for Richard Bland, up and out. 2 service errors back to back. Leaves the door open. But Johnson County, they're pushing. Richard Bland not letting him in yet, as this is a 7-point lead. It's an 11-4 run currently for Richard Bland because we were tied at 11s. Heath trying to go up and over. Back set for Troutman. It's long. Riley Harris. That is 2 times now that she has been able to get away on an overhit by Johnson County. You'll see it. Pulled the hands back. The one time she was sliding away as well. So 23-15. Phillips serving again. Mock touches far side. Osola on the roll-off. Big hit. Goggin, she was trying to celebrate already. McCarthy comes back and puts one to the floor for Johnson County. Harris checks back into the front line. McClure, the center for Johnson County, serving 23-16. Line drive serve. Durko sets. Goggin off the mark with that one. 23-17. That's about the first miss that those two have had tonight. Durko and Goggin have been on the same page, and Goggin has been the one, once she gets in there, she's wanting those sets to her. This time Kaiser, and it's blocked up front. Osola along with Harris, and the blocks just keep mounting up for both teams. And it's now 23-18 and a timeout by Coach Champagne and a Richard Bland. Stay up to date with the latest news and information regarding NJCAA volleyball by visiting the official website of the National Junior College Athletic Association at njcaa.org. We're going to crown a new champion for the 2022 Division II volleyball tournament as Scottsdale 3-0 on Parkland, and Johnson County and Richard Bland trying to punch their ticket to the finals. Richard Bland, you got to also remember that they had 2 losses on their schedule that were actual wins because they had a forfeit over Parkland and Edison. The only other loss was to Monroe, which happened back on October 15th. Since then, Richard Bland has played perfectly, and they played a marvelous tournament to this point, beating McHenry County 3-1. They swept Iowa Central in the quarterfinals, trying to force a 5th. Awalua on the back set, couldn't get it down. McCarthy swings. They say that was touched. Harris down the line. And now a 2-touch on Richard Bland. Richard Bland fans wanted a 4-hit call on Johnson County, and instead it's a violation on the Statesman. The discussion over with as 23-19. Well, emotions are running high. This is the semifinal after all, as Kaiser pushes to the back. Far side, McCarthy smashes right back to her. Tip over the block. McClure sets Harris down the line, and Riley Harris was standing right there with her. Oh, we got a call at the net. Do we have a net violation? Yes. So a net violation on the Statesman. And once again, that looked like a point for Richard Bland. And instead, it's McClure still serving at 20-23. Johnson County still down by 3. Awalua. Goggin. Mock into the net and can't get it back up and over. 4 contacts on Johnson County. And now it's set point for Richard Bland. Kaiser back to serve. Lost the first 2 sets, 25-19, 25-21, and now have a chance to force the all-important 5th. Soft serve and a good spin. Harris, or no, that's McCarthy. McCarthy long on the shot on the sideline at 25-20. Right, they don't change sides. They'll stay where they are. But we will take a quick break and come back. Set number 5. We had a reverse sweep last night in the quarterfinals with Scottsdale over Cali. Now Richard Bland one set away from doing the same, but it would get them to the finals. We'll come right back. You are watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship on the NJCAA Network. (25-20). Richard Bland wins the last set. And there's the shot by McCarthy that goes long. Phillips was eyeballing it the whole time. Durko firing everybody up. And one note to make during that timeout, it was kind of a longer timeout. They had the coin toss and everything else. They stay on each side. They don't switch until 8. We go to 15, still have to win by 2. One thing, though, to talk about was during that entire timeout, Coach Champagne for Richard Bland barely talked to her group. She let her team discuss things as a whole. Coach Jennifer on Johnson County, had everybody together discussing things. And here we go. 5th set. Call it the money set. Durko. Call the 4th quarter in basketball and football the money quarter as well. This is where you make money and come up with the big plays. Durko serving. McClure sets. Harris blocked again. Hopkins up front. Just been an absolute monster. By the way, in that 4th set, Richard Bland at 206 had 13 kills. Johnson County a negative .027. Durko fires on another serve. Troutman off the block. Harris played. Hopkins swings. Oh, just out. No tip. 1-1. Only 15 ties in this match. This is a way different 5-setter than we had last night with Scottsdale, where we were almost, I think, at 40 ties in that match between Cali and Scottsdale. Here, a tight match, just not a lot of ties, and angling down. Nice shot by Heath at 2-1, Richard Bland. And Awalua to go back to serve. Here comes that top spin serve, always so deadly and tough to read. Mock played it nicely, though. She's seen it a ton today. As Troutman swings, it's blocked up front once again. Heath and Hopkins team up. That is the 10th block now for Hopkins. Might be the 11th, or maybe the half at that point. But she has 16 kills, hitting .379. And a big reason why Richard Bland has a lead after an 0-2 start to this match. They're up 3-1. Troutman had to wait for it forever, and then Durko and Awalua. Miscommunication back there. Troutman gets the point. A side out for Johnson County. Couple substitutions, and Fayette comes in to serve. 3-2. Johnson County down a point. Match tied 2-2. Shot at the D2 championship on the line in the 5th set. Kaiser blocked, but hanging around at Richard Bland's side. Kaiser goes over the block this time. Set far side, McCarthy, no jump. Hopkins smashes, but a great dig by Fayette. McCarthy, 3 hits. Richard Bland got it over. Free ball. McCarthy pushes to the sideline. Durko up and over. McClure again sets. Troutman trying to get over the block. Heath puts it back over on Johnson County side. Far side, McCarthy still blocked. Mock saved it. And that's Fayette all the way to the back. Hopkins comes through though. 4-2. Richard Bland. Mark that one down as a key point. Both teams had chances, and it's Richard Bland that comes away with the point. Jaden Brown to serve. Line drive serve, Mock just getting it up. Troutman step in front of the 10-foot line, not down. Far side, and Heath spots a shot in between Mock and Fayette. And 5-2. Two unreal comebacks here on court number 1 in the last 2 nights. Scottsdale did it to Cowley. Richard Bland doing it to Johnson County. Scottsdale's awaiting as they are watching, as is the entire Alliant Energy powerhouse. And showing off her power is Troutman. The Cavaliers really needed that. Troutman, the sophomore for Johnson County, back to serve. Howaloo on the receive, and right over the top of everyone is Heath. 6-3. Both teams do have 2 timeouts, of course, just like any other set. We're just going to 15 instead of 25. Sydney Phillips will serve for Richard Bland. Mock had to go backwards. Johnson County passes over. Goggin. And McClure goes to the back corner. McClure to serve. Johnson County down 4, led 2-0. Awalua on the receive. Oh, Kaiser had to readjust everything on that shot. Far side. Awalua's pass back over to Johnson County. McCarthy at that time rolls off of, that's Goggin over there. No, Durko, pardon me. Rolled off Durko, out of bounds. Point comes to Johnson County. 6-5. Richard Bland still leading by a point. They'll switch sides at 8. Line drive serve. Durko sets for Goggin. Those two have been so in sync through much of this match. Something just kind of clicked there for Leilani and Durko. Durko up to 45 assists. McClure on the other side, 32. Kaiser serving for Richard Bland with a 2-point lead. Harris to Riley Harris for Richard Bland. Awalua blocked, but it goes out of bounds, and it's 8-5, and the teams will switch sides. 7 points away are the Statesmen of Richard Bland to get to the finals. Meanwhile, Johnson County is 10 away. This entire facility rocking. As there you saw that block go out. Back to serve Kaiser for Richard Bland. Harris in the middle, and that time Riley Harris could not make the dig. It's a big point for Johnson County, but they can't be trading. You can't trade points at this juncture of the match. It's 8-6. Richard Bland up 2. Short serve. And down for Goggin. Silvers tried to make the play, was late on the slide. And big placement by Goggins. A timeout by Johnson County in this 5th set. Richard Bland leading. And looking at the hitting numbers, actually both teams are really doing a great job at the net. 357 for Richard Bland, 308 for Johnson County. It is just all about the 15 points. A great match here on court number 1 for the semifinal. And they're running through the schedule for tomorrow. Of course, we get started right here at 10 o'clock. My broadcast partner, Dwayne Cook, who's standing and he's sitting down behind me. He'll be with me tomorrow as he and I will be trading off play-by-play and color analyst throughout the day. Starting at 10, then 12, 2, 4, 6:30. That's our schedule for tomorrow. Who will be in the championship? Right now, Richard Bland is smelling it. 6 points away. And Riley Harris, the libero, back to serve. Fast defender. Over 1,000 digs for her career. Quick, vocal, controls our backcourt, Coach Champagne says. And she also has the top spin serve. She was also Defensive Player of the Week nationally back on September 6th. And Olberg puts a dent in the floor for Johnson County. And boy, do they need that. Troutman's back to the front. You got to go up against Hopkins, and you got to think, if you're Johnson County, if the Statesmen get a solid set, it's coming to Hopkins. It does, but it's blocked. Riley Harris saves. And into the net was Johnson County. Boy, Hopkins just went to the tip. The second one came up. She just kind of swung her hand up. I got it over the net. Coach I is asking for clarification. So Coach I now asking about the official up above. Doesn't win the argument. Point goes to Richard Bland, and a 3-point lead with Durko to serve. Off the tape, Olberg. First to touch, Harris knocks it through, and 10-8. But again, Johnson County just keeps trading points. And if you're a Richard Bland fan, you're thinking, well, that's fine. Go ahead. They're ahead by 2. We could trade points all the way to 15. The semifinals will be theirs. Strickert serving. Hopkins, and it's off of the upper body of Silvers. Wowzer. Powerful swing by Hopkins, and Awalua will serve. Wow. 11-8. And into the net. That's the danger about the top spin serve. Power, but you lose a lot of control. And Fayette will serve for Johnson County. Still the team's hitting now 400 in this 5th set. Played over on the far side. Kaiser on the tip. Troutman knew she had to play it. McCarthy blocked up front. McClure got the one arm up, but goes over to the official above. And Richard Bland, once again, you trade points. And 3 away are the Statesmen. Back to serve, Jaden Brown. Twelve to 9. Long. 12-10. Troutman out of the front. Osula up at the front now for Johnson County. Troutman serving. Down 2. 5th set. Go to 15. Durko sets far side. Goggins got it again. Leilani Goggin came up huge last night against Iowa Central, doing the same thing here. Up to 14, and Johnson County taking a timeout. Goggin had 12 and hit .750 last night against Iowa Central. And this evening, 14, she's hitting .243. Richard Bland, it's just remarkable what had happened offensively for the Statesmen in the first 2 sets. Not even over 100 hitting efficiency, then 300 in the third, 206, and they held Johnson County to negative in the 4th. And in the 5th, they're hitting .444. 62 kills for Richard Bland, 43 for Johnson County. Richard Bland, 6 aces, 11 serving errors. Johnson County, 8 aces, only 3 errors at the service line. The digs are up to 65 for Richard Bland and 53 for Johnson County, but those blocks, 13 of them for Richard Bland. 12 of those from Hopkins. Of course, that's not total blocks. That's the block assists as well. Although that's what it says, total blocks, 12. 17 kills for Hopkins. 13 to 10 after the timeout. Serve got over, far side, McCarthy. And 13-11. It's McClure to serve. Kylie Harris reports to the front. But this also has Troutman out for Johnson County. Goggin up and over the block. And Richard Bland is a point away from making the final. Kaiser to serve. Unbelievable comeback by the Statesmen. Now they're a point away. Kaiser serves it up. Mock overpass. It's going to Goggin. Down it goes! And a 3-2 comeback for the ages for Richard Bland. 15-11, and Coach Champagne, who had come over in her first year from Terra State, will get a chance now to win a championship with the Statesmen. And for Coach I and company, here's the point. They'll fall in a third place match against Parkland. You knew it was going to Goggin. She's been lights out all the way through these final couple of sets. It finishes with 64 kills. Goggin had 16 of them. Hopkins with 17. And Richard Bland, after losing the first two, 25-19, 25-21, they come back and win 25-18, 25-20, and 15-11. And who saw that coming? The 5 seed takes on the 6 seed in the championship tomorrow night. We'll have it for you as Richard Bland. Oh, the emotion. Look at Hopkins. Can't contain herself. What a year for Coach Champagne and Coach Dryden. Take the job in February. They move in a snowstorm. They get married this year and now have a chance for a national championship. You can't write this stuff. The final totals here, we'll go through them real quick. So 64 kills for Richard Bland. They hit 175, 59 assists, 65 digs, 13 blocks. Johnson County, 45 kills. They hit 101, 42 assists, 53 digs, 10 blocks. Individually for Johnson County, 13 kills for McCarthy. She also had 2 blocks. Troutman with 10 kills, 6 blocks. McClure, 36 assists. And on the other side, Awalua, 13 kills. She also had 15 digs. Goggin, 16 kills, had a block. And Hopkins, 18 kills and 12 blocks. The semifinals over with. Championship Saturday tomorrow. We'll start at 10 o'clock with the 9th place match. It'll be Muskegon versus McHenry County, followed by Kirkwood and Iowa Central, Cali, Grand Rapids, Johnson County and Parkland at 4. And then the championship, Richard Bland and Scottsdale. It'll all take place right here on the single court. You've been watching the NJCAA Division II Volleyball Championship. For the entire crew here on the NJCAA Network, I'm Joel McCall. Good night.